Good morning. This is John Winnick with your daily YouTube. And it's not really been daily, but I've been attempting to get as much out as we can. So we have the ability to overcome PM 2.5, which is the killer on Earth. It's all the particulate matter, and it is 2.5 centimeters of or millimeters of actual particulates all over the planet, in the ground, in the air, in the water. It's everywhere, but it's mostly in the air. And it starts with the chaff from aircraft that flies overhead. And what it does is they're trying to change the climate, and it is 500 million tons of it that we're breathing, which causes Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and you never know what is out there. Probably mostly Alzheimer's and dementia. And what they're doing is an atrocity. This is 9 million deaths every year. That's more than 3 years of wars in Ukraine, and more than any other type of deaths. So petroleum and radiation has a lot to do with this. So power generation really is at fault. um, Mining, cobalt, and short term, of course, yes, this is bad for children in the Congo and polluting the water tables, trying to get cobalt, lithium, and all these things for solar, as well as for batteries. So we're looking at pollution short term, and maybe long term, depending on how we handle this, and all the fossil fuels. So, fossil fuels, including methane, is worse than coal. Coal is responsible for a lot of mercury and a lot of um, carbon. And carbon is not the beginning of all the pollution. That's just ruining some of the habitats, which really the animals are dying off. So, petroleum is a killer. It is literally killing off all the animals in the world, and us along with it. So if we can actually curb the use of that eventually, of course, we have to make America great again by drilling and satisfying the actual energy, because we are now in an AI race to be able to have enough energy so that we can have uh, the artificial intelligence to be able to move forward to streamline our economy, streamline our ability to maneuver um, politically as well. So we have to have silos. We have to have a lot of tremendous amount of energy, and deep seek and different softwares will only alleviate that for a short time. What we need to do is have the power of the sun be able to power our planet. And the sun might be intelligent now. They're saying that all life forms may be attached to the sun, and the intelligence of the sun may be where we have the uh, double slit experiment where the wave becomes the particle, and that's quantum physics. And the size of the planet and the size of the sun and the mass may be responsible for how much energy and how much artificial intelligence we can generate. So this is what's going on. We have the ability to generate energy and add a zero carbon and zero pollution. So PM 2.5 and pollution would be a thing of the past. And we have to build with fireproof materials, because there is such a thing as climate change, but that happens every 15,000 years. And if we can go ahead and curb the ability for buildings to burn down and have natural waterways and also surf parks. And my idea is to have surf parks with city centers, and then you would be able to have enough water, 6 acres, 7 acres of water, to be able to put out the fires in that area and be able to have enough water and have recreation and build luxury homes in that area. You can have water anywhere you want. So the idea of having radioactive thorium is still at 17% of the waste compared to the other types of reactors, like swimming pool reactors, is a great idea, but it may not be good because there will be people dying from radioactive waste. And eventually, to get rid of radioactive waste will be a big issue unless you send it off into space, into the sun. But that takes a lot of energy. So I think that we have the ability to clean up the planet with just solar and batteries and wind and geothermal. So if we can tap into that and the ocean tides and waves, I think we have enough energy to go around. And all the calculations show that we can do that. It's just that we can't manufacture quick enough. That's why we have to drill for oil and still burn lignite and coal, which is the dirtiest things on the planet. So all the fish are getting not radioactive. If not radioactive, they are getting to the point where there's a lot of mercury in them, 2% a year on the big fish. So eat smaller fish and be able to have something of a clean environment and eat non-GMO and locally grown crops. And that's the best. So the latest idea is to have sous chefs, the best chefs in the world, prepare organic foods for you and be able to have that for restaurants in Las Vegas and the local areas and be able to have something that is delicious and yet without the lectins, without the oxalates, which you can look up is not so good for you. And if you can have a better immune system with the red light, near infrared, and go out in the sun, under a shade of a tree would be the best, where you have lots of oxygen and be able to revive your entire body. So your body revives every 7 years. We're 70%, 80% water. So boil your water, get it at pH 8.5 alkaline so that you have every chance of battling diseases and inflammation, which is from diabetes. It's the result of inflammation on your diet, as well as heart disease and cancer. So these are chronic diseases. We can get rid of them by having red light therapy and having the right amount of diet and take a walk once in a while. You would be able to every day, and you'd be able to overcome a lot of immune deficiencies and absolutely do well. All right, well, you have a good day. This is John Winnick, and all you YouTubers, and sign up, and we'll see what we can do today.